How are you doing today, Sacrament?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Yeah, like, what about you? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I think everything is okay. I think it's an interesting time for me because I'm releasing a lot of music that I've been trying to release for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's also because of the season. It's September. The fall is like one of my favorite times of the
Yeah,
year.
mm-hmm.
So, so when you asked me that question, it's interesting because the right away I started thinking it's like, well, yeah, there's a lot, like what's going on with me is a lot because I think that the change in the seasons I think affects not only me but I think it affects everybody. Does it affect you at all?
Yeah, sure. Because uh, I'm kind of sad that the summer is gone, but at the same time, I'm obsessed with autumn. It's time for some spooky things. I don't know. I get inspiration from autumn actually. Um, and it will be finally cold, which is really great because it's been really hot here. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Russia? And yeah, for by the way, if you're watching this stream now or you're watching it later, Sacrament is over in Russia. I'm here in Finland. We're actually not too far apart, to be honest.
True.
But um, yeah, so you're feeling it there. It's and I'm feeling it here, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I would love to talk about your art specifically, um, and about your creative journey and where you are looking to go towards. I noticed that you just graduated,
Yeah.
so can you tell me a little bit about that? I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, it's been 2 years since our last live stream, and like I went through, well, almost everything, So it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I've always wanted to obviously choose like a creative kind of job, but of course it's kind of hard to choose which path I should go. And uh, you know, one day it just hit me that I've always wanted to create something useful and at the same time something beautiful, something crazy, something really creative. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should become a web designer because I feel like it's really interesting and it contains lots of different um, aspects of art, I would say, right? So I found this design school. Uh, I guess it's one of the best Russian design schools because it's all about connecting design with emotions
Okay.
and with like this thing called synesthesia, which is like your associations with the sounds, with the colors. So it kind of like really interested me, and oh yeah, I went to like I took this course, and uh, yeah, it took me like 4 months, I guess, and then yeah, I just graduated, and now I can make like websites or logos, posters, merch, like anything, basically. All the digital products.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even. Well, first of all, I want to say hi, Ricky Slayer. Hi, the real Michael. Hi, Will. It's great to see people in the live chats. Of course, most people watch these afterwards, but so much that you just told me, I'm actually really interested in what you said because I wasn't sure that that's some of the stuff that you were working on because it just so happens that I have a website. I just created a website, and I just put it up recently, and I'm still trying to figure out, the best way to utilize the website and all that stuff. And maybe something I could do with you is maybe afterwards we can talk and maybe we can work on something together, a collaboration.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and I also want to use this live stream for you to get more work because I believe that us music artists and artists in general, um, we create and we do beautiful, amazing things for ourselves and for other people, especially when we collaborate. And one of the things that today, and we can talk about this also, is because today everything is so right in everybody's fingertips. So I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. Like everything is so readily available, as far as like all of the work that you could do to make a website, or all of the artwork that you can create and you can put it on your Instagram page or on your website. Anybody in the world, if they have the internet, specifically as my J is falling, they can just get that. They can get it really quick. They can go on Instagram and just go through all your stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. Sacrament does this. Okay, next, and then go to the next artist or the next piece of content. And I think that I want to support the people that I know, at least the people that I know, in trying to make that something where we make it known to people, like, yeah, that is great. Like Sacrament's art is everywhere. You can see it, but we also need to figure out a way to appreciate it and support the arts, because if right now, and I'm sorry for this rant, Sacrament. I know that I'm, me, I'm always ranting, but I think we're in an interesting time where a lot of artists can easily just get overwhelmed with the amount of work that they put in and the amount of appreciation that they get back in the form of finances specifically, that in the matter of like a year or two or three, we could lose a lot of really good artists to their frustrations due to this fact. So I think it's very important that if you like Sacrament's art, or you want to hire Sacrament to help with a website possibly, or whatever it is that you in the future, whatever endeavors you go into, I think it's important that we don't just take it for granted that we offer something to the artist or to the person that's doing these things, because it's not free, and it took Sacrament not only the amount of time that it took her to go through the course, but it's basically her whole life to decide what she wants to do. Same with me, like, music, I throw songs up and people listen to them and then they're like, cool. But I put my whole life into making music, and it kind of saddens me to watch other people doing the same thing that I do. And of course, people that are watching this stream do appreciate it. So let me say that everybody in our community, and Sacrament is a part of our community, right? We have a group of like-minded individuals that like to support us. That's why it's great that we're doing this. But I would like to grow this community a little bit more, and try to bring in some new people. And I think that what are your thoughts on what my rant that I just spit out?
Yeah, actually really sweet, it means the world to me. And what you're doing, what you're trying to do, it's so freaking important. Like, you already changed my life, and I'm sure you will be changing lots of lives. And, that's such a cool mission. I feel like we definitely should, like, keep in touch, keep together, create something, because, art, or like, there's this saying, the earth without art is just, you know. So, art, love, it will save the world. We should definitely create lots of things, especially now, because lots of people started using AI, and I feel like it can, I don't know, it can kind of upset some artists, maybe even, I don't know, give them depression or something. But I feel like we should definitely keep going, create like some crazy stuff, and yeah, I feel like it's really vital these days.
I'm just reading the comments. It says, well, your Sacrament's painting style is just beautiful and different from others artists. That's what makes her. Yeah, I think so, and I think as we all artists should try to be somewhat creative. And as you talked about AI, I have my views, and anybody can go through, watch a lot of my recent videos about it. I don't want to bring AI into a part of my writing. So as an artist, I don't want it to have anything to do with anything that I personally write. But as anybody might be noticing, that I happen to use AI. I'm experimenting with it as far as like helping me with my content, like releasing. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but my channel is I automated my channel.
Mm.
But what I mean by that is I still put in like I've been doing these live streams like pretty heavy now for like 3-4 years. This isn't the first time you've been on. So, and what I noticed is that generally everything kind of just gets buried in the feed. Like a week from now, this live stream will be all the way like down in the pits of whatever. So I decided, well, what if I can use AI to help me automate a lot of the streams that I've done and just bring up different highlights from different streams to bring those into focus, and then maybe somebody might see it and be like, oh, I want to see more, and then possibly go to my YouTube channel, which is Radio Live, which I'm also building. And so I use AI for that. And so far I think it is an issue. Like Ricky and Zero Horizon pointed out that it spelled somebody's name wrong once. So like you still need to like you need to take AI by the hand and help it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do things like that. But the artistic, I'm trying to think of the word that the integrity, my artistic integrity of writing a song. Like, for example, we'll talk about this song I wrote called Underlining the Why. And it was based upon, we wrote it based upon a Robin Williams quote, a great actor, comedian, and the lyrics and everything was written by human beings. And I would never want to have AI help me with the lyrics. And I know some artists do, and to each their own, right? But I think there's some things that are sacred to me that, at least at this point in time, I don't want AI to come into play when it comes to my actual writing. And I would suppose that you might have the same views if you were doing a painting or a drawing. I don't think you would want AI to hold your hand
Hmm.
and show you where you should put the lines. I think that's something that you might want to do on your own.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think we're old school guys. And yeah, AI is just a helpful tool. I've tried to use it with my designs, but still, yeah, I do enjoy the process. It's not even about the result, maybe. I do enjoy like finding out some new solutions, checking my theories or something like this. And yeah, that's the best about being an artist, this process of creating something from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it would be, if you look back to the medieval times and even further, like any technologies that people back then might have heard about or seen, they would be like jumping to the chance to use it. So I think it makes sense for anybody today, if you're a true artist, to want to at least know what it is, what is AI and how to use it. Whether or not you decide to go and use it for certain ways, it's fine. But the thing is, I want to know what it's about, so I do use it for automating my video content. I think in general it's a good thing because it brings back awareness of what I've been doing to people that might not know that 3 years ago you and I did a live stream and now there's a clip of it that's recently posted. Okay, cool. So that works, but I draw the line when it comes to certain things. Now, one of the other things that I draw the line is I don't want to use AI to create artwork. So I would like to have either myself draw something or have an artist help me collaborate on something. And again, if it's something that we can both do together and to help bring more eyeballs and exposure to each other, then I'm all up for doing stuff like that. Um, because that's what I think that it's everybody's kind of figured it out that I am an artist and I am trying to move forward in my career. But at the same time, if you haven't noticed, I mean, I'm always sharing other people's stuff too, and
Mhm.
because I like bringing people together at the end of the day, and I know that it's hard for some artists to do that because I think it's fair that everybody is kind of, and they should be out for themselves, and they should want to try to get ahead, especially if you're not already on the top of your game. Like if the Metallica was today going to just be like, no, no, it's all about me still. I would be like, well, that's interesting. Like, how much more can it be about you? You're at the top of your game. Why don't you maybe think about showing and shedding some light on, and which I'm sure they do. I'm not saying that they do or they don't, but I'm just saying, for me, I'm not where I necessarily want to be in the future. I would like to have a little bit more exposure. I think that's fair to say, but even now, until I get to that point, I still want to bring exposure to other artists that I know. So, so that's what I've been doing actually, and
Yeah,
that's yeah.
I, by the way, I really enjoyed watching those snippets from different live streams because, it's much more easier probably for people to,
Yeah,
get to know the artist. So uh, you're like telling the stories. So what I love about your page is that it's like this colorful book with stories of different artists, and anyone can just go on your page, check out some videos, and that's really cool. Good freaking
yeah.
job.
I agree. I agree. And like I said, I do help AI and I hold its hand because I kind of help direct it on what types of clips I wanted to pick. And of course, it does all the spelling and stuff like that for me, which I still have to overlook that as well because it can spell people's names wrong. And that, then it turns into a nightmare like, oh, you spelled so and so's name wrong or blah, blah, blah. So I still have to put some work into it. But at the same time, I think that it does make it for an easier experience. And I will say that it's not. I don't think anybody can just put AI onto their Instagram page and automate their page if they don't have content. And I have 4 years of doing live streams that just accumulated and accumulated. So the thing is, I do have the content. So now I want to try to put it to better use. But I would recommend that if anybody else wants to do that, don't burn yourself out and get frustrated because I think what you need first is you need to have a lot of content so that it makes sense to automate it because there's no reason to automate, a few pieces of things here and there because it's a lot of work to do. And but but at the same time, I'm super excited about creating a community for the streams on YouTube, and also I always love having artists getting involved. And you know, what more have you been up to? I know you graduated the school, but are you besides the graphics designing and doing these digital in the digital world, are you doing any more art, like physical art?
Physical art, not really, unfortunately. But uh, I've gone for depression, and after that, once I became happy, it became like it got way harder to create something physical for some reason. So yeah, I'm trying to, I actually have one idea for a band, for my boyfriend's band, and they're trying to sell like some merch, and I will be doing the stickers from them, for them. That's probably the only thing that I'm gonna do when it comes to like physical stuff. And I'm planning on maybe making some posters, I really do love making collages. So, like finding some different stuff on in old magazines, maybe, newspapers, and then making some posters. So maybe that's that's what I'm gonna do, and I guess that's it. Yeah. But I also have a job, just a normal job, so it kind of takes a lot of time. So I really hope that I will have more time for my art real soon once I find, some clients for my web design stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing that comes in the way. That's why I said earlier that it's important that people to not only just appreciate other people's art, but if they like it, try to do something more than just treat it like a another piece of content to scroll through, because artists have to go through a lot to create art. All right, and I know that sounds maybe cliche or whatever, but the thing is like you said, a world without art would be like, eh. So everybody that's getting to get all this art, especially today, more so than ever, it's so much of it's available. And yeah, some of it is AI, which kind of sucks, but mix in with it, there's a bunch of real art. And, artists have to struggle to make decisions and commitments in their life to go forward with art. I do it all the time. I struggled ever since I was in high school, and I didn't even finish high school because I knew that I wanted to be a musician. And in some ways, that's a horrible disappointment to maybe family and friends. But at some at other points for me, it's something that I love and I have a passion for, and I wanted to pursue that. And
Hmm.
it's big decisions and big commitments to make, and getting jobs, and working here and working there, and trying to hold a job. I know that the longest I've had a job was like 11 years, and I was working for a big independent family owned business that was. But I think it was a beautiful experience, and but at the same time, I'm glad that I'm not there. I could still be there, and I'd be probably, I'd probably be doing very, very well, but I'd also probably be feeling like, yeah, just like a life without art, because I get to do something that I love to do on my own choice, which is again why we should all try to appreciate artists. And if they have something for sale, buy it if you have the money and you can, because then you know if you give if when somebody, like, even when I go on tour and somebody buys one of my CDs for $15 or whatever, that $15 to me is worth way more than getting a $4,000 a month paycheck.
Hmm.
It's like the $15, I'm like so happy that I just made $15 because it was from my art. It wasn't because I was doing sales and service for a company on the phone and doing these things. So I would have to say that most other artists probably feel the same way when they get appreciation, or they get paid for something that they've done or created. It means the world to them. You have no idea, all of you that are watching this, that might support an artist. So I think if you want to live in a world where there's less AI and more real art, I would start finding your niche of artists that you like, and just start supporting them. And even if you're just sending them a message saying, hey, your art has touched me. I have your piece hanging on my wall, or I listened to your music and I shared it with my community of friends. Like, all these things for music artists and artists is very important. And I think it would help Sacrament out if she gets some of that as well, because she made artwork for uh, Take a Bow and for Nordic Sea, which is two songs that I released. They're black and white. If you go on and look at those songs, she did the artwork. And show her, like, I would love to, like, we're going to try to do a collaboration for uh, Underlining the Why,
Yeah.
that this new song. So now there will be three, if we
Free.
get that, three pieces of art. So you and I should do something with that. Like, I think it's your art, so maybe we could put it up available on my website or something,
Yeah.
where the money goes to Sacrament for pieces that maybe we can make prints. Like, they're beautiful. Like, they're cover artwork for album, but at the same time, it's a piece of art. It's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Thank you a lot. Yeah. Maybe I can also like do some refreshment to it, and so it looks better on prints and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. you know, because I'm obsessed with buying merch. I can spend my last money on a t-shirt of my favorite artist. So yeah, that's what I'm interested in right now. You know, I'm trying to find some artists in my city for now, um, and you know, to create some nice merch, because I feel like there are lots of people who will still buy it. And yeah, as you've said, that's a great way to show your appreciation for the music, for any kind of art. So
Yeah,
that's a
and
fantastic idea, actually.
it's because it's I also don't. I try not to get excited when I do these things because it's always I always want to get excited, but at the same time, at the end of the day, unfortunately, I do know it's like I can be like, yeah, let's do this and let's do that, but then like an hour will go by and this stream will be done, and we'll be like, how come it's not happening? I thought people were gonna do these things. And like, no, they don't do it. But I don't let that discourage me because,
Hmm.
for example, if I do put the art available on my website, it'll sit there. Maybe nobody will see it today or nobody will see it tomorrow. But as long as I continue to try to further my musical career and I can get more people to go to my website on my own for working hard for myself, then maybe some people will eventually go and be like, oh, what's
Hmm.
this? It's art for sale. And then, you should help me write a description. So like we have the art for sale, but then there's a story, a little description of what it is and why it is, right? And then,
Yeah.
so if somebody does buy a print, they're buying the story as well,
Hmm.
you know?
Which is
And I think that's beautiful,
for sure. Hmm.
you know?
Oh,
Um, just like when they buy a song and there's always a story behind how the song got written. I think a lot of music artists forget to mention that too. I think maybe even people like Spotify or companies like Spotify or YouTube. Well, YouTube allows it, but Spotify should allow room to have like the song, but then also like a little place where you can write down like, I
yeah.
don't know if there is or not, but like I don't think there is like a caption area where you can have like a descriptive story on each song. I know you can do it in general on your bio,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Hmm. I
I don't
guess
know.
that.
Just throwing out some ideas because I think because AI isn't making these things, there's actual stories. I mean, AI could probably create a story on its own if it wanted to. I don't know, but
But
I
there's
don't know. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I totally agree with you, you know. Yeah, I can create some badass stories actually. I've kind of tried someday, but there's no person behind it. So you can actually meet and talk with this person. And yeah, I've also been thinking about maybe meet and greets or something like this. I don't know, just you know, I know that I'm in Russia and it's kind of hard to go to anywhere basically, but still for other people, you know, I know that there are lots of people in Finland who are watching your live streams, and I feel like it would be a great idea to just meet, maybe play some music, you know, like do some jams or
Maybe we
something like
could do like a. I know Andy McCoy does it. I don't know if I could
that.
work with him on this, but let's just say I can't. Let's just say he's because I know he's in Spain now and whatever. But I know he does art shows, for example, Andy,
Mm.
and they're very successful, talented artists. But depending on his situation, I think something that maybe you and I could also possibly collaborate on is putting together an art show, maybe here
Mm.
in Totoku, which is an amazing city, because you already have fans here in Totoku. I know the Atomic Annie guys would definitely come out and support, and maybe we could maybe have like a couple bands play and do like a little art show where Sacrament can come from Russia and meet people, and a couple bands can perform maybe some acoustic stuff.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sure Mandy and the Days Dolls would probably be interested, and I, of course, I would want to come and play and do like that would be cool. Like The problem, there is no problem. I think we should do that. It's just that it's sad because, first of all, it's taken many years for us to even come up with the idea because it's not that easy to do. And, you know, even like bigger bands, like you'd be surprised, like it's very hard to get a band to that has millions of streams on Spotify and maybe like hundreds of thousands of fans around the world. Like it's hard to get them to come to Turku, Finland, or Detroit, Michigan, for that matter, because what is why is that? Because I guess because people are just they're more interested. It seems like people are more interested just to see it on their phone and then probably not go to a show. Like there's a very small niche audience. Like the people watching this, Ricky Slayer is here, legend by the way, Ricky Slayer.
Yeah,
He,
that's right.
he would come, you know, he would go to the show, you know,
Yeah.
but a lot of people would just be like, oh, that's cool. There's the art show is on Friday. I'm gonna go, and they'll say it. They'll even go out of their way and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And then when it comes down to the art show, like they won't go. They'll be like, oh, I forgot, or like I was at home watching Netflix or something. You know, it's like, oh, you watched Netflix instead of going to like a cool show where you could have met really cool people and networked yourself. And like, no, I stayed at home and watched Netflix.
But then we can like make a, I don't know, like a video or, you know, something for promoting something cool, something crazy so that people wouldn't miss it. It's
I
also hard, by the way, yeah.
I love this idea because, like I said, you know, Andy's been doing a few art shows and he's done a couple here in Turku as well. And his art shows are very successful, and he always plays some acoustic stuff when he does his art shows.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, I'm an artist. You know, look, I know that that's not, but it is art, okay? And I do like to do drawings. A lot of people don't even know. And we talked about it on the stream that I've just shared with my father was a really good oil painter, and he was even an art teacher. So art is something that's been in my family. I love art. So I would love to put together an art show. Again, music and art is the same thing, in my opinion. Music and art. It's music and art. They go hand in hand. And maybe even like, again, and I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to get people's hopes up, but I would say maybe try to do one, like you said, and promote it, you know, with some video and make it like interesting. And depending on if it's successful, maybe it could be something that we could recreate where it's not just like a one-time happening. Maybe we do a couple where like we show up in some different cities or something like that. And if it's worthwhile, you know, it the thing is, if we did an art show and you were able to sell some of your artwork to pay for your travel, you know, and stuff like that, then it would be worth it. So
Yeah.
that's basically all we could hope for. And then if it was anything on top of that, if it was, you know, you were able to pay for your travel and you made some money, like that's just a bonus in my opinion. But even making it worth your travel time and, you know, to get you here, I think we should definitely look into that. I think I already know there's places that we could do it at. You know, we can rent a room and do it there. And maybe because of today's technologies, we could even guarantee that you get everything paid for, because we could maybe do like a little crowdfunder for it or something. So that way you get the money before you come. So like that way, if you were to come here and let's say your travel and your expense was already paid for before you even came, then you could come here and just be chill and focused on, you know, doing something for the art show instead of like worrying about like, oh, I hope before they leave they buy my painting because I don't know how I'm gonna get home. I'm broke. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what bands have to worry about all the time. Like when a band goes on tour, you know, depending on the way that it was booked, like it's the same thing. It's like I hope we're gonna have like to get like hamburgers tonight, because if we don't, yeah, if we don't sell enough T-shirts tonight, we might not have food. That's why it's kind of hard to be in a band sometimes. a lot of times.
Yeah,
I,
true.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, true, because I started going to some different shows. Because my boyfriend, he's the guitar player, the bass player, and mm, when I see those, like local rock gigs,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing actually. Okay, well, I hope we sell at least one T-shirt. If not, well, that's okay. It was still fun. Uh, so yeah, that would be really cool. Even if I'm not selling anything, I will still be enjoying it. This again, I do love this atmosphere, especially the rock gigs. Like you feel this crazy connection between people, and that's the best. Like I
100%.
love and I would like to play something. I started playing the bass, and I would really love to be a bass player in any band, I would say, because I'm kind of desperate right now. Yeah, so that would.
Well, I would say I would love to have you play bass for me, but um, it, you're in Russia, I'm here, and it probably would be kind of hard. It's so hard to put together a band, but
Yeah.
we could definitely collaborate on some music. That's one thing that I I'm never shy upon is asking people to collaborate with me, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are, and if you want to do something, then you should do it.
Hmm.
And there's nothing stopping me. Like if I work with Andy McCoy, or I work with Sacrament 666, I'm working with two different people. That's all I look at it. It doesn't matter um, how long you've been in the business for or whatever. That's irrelevant, because again, art. That's why I love art. The way that I want to be surrounded by making art is by the reason I would want to have you play bass for me or with me is because I seem to get along with you from our live streams, and we have like good energy, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why I wouldn't want to play bass with the guy that maybe is awesome, but that I don't talk to because he's not really a nice person, it's because I don't like him because he's not a nice person, or she's not a nice girl. Like, what I'm basically saying is I want to play and make art with people that are nice and
Hmm.
that respect others and have like a positive view, at least a somewhat positive view. Of course, you can have some negative views. That's what makes you an artist. But for the most part, like people that I like to be around, that are like pleasant to be around, and that is more important to me than your skills,
Hmm.
especially when it comes, because we're not building bridges. Like if I had to build a bridge and there was a person that was really nice to be around but they couldn't do it, I don't think I would want them to do it, because the bridge would fall down.
Yeah,
That's
true.
that's a good way to put it. But if I'm building a band and I'm around people that are like that can do it, well, what's there's nothing to fall down and break. It's art. It's actually only going to make it better.
That's a great metaphor, actually.
I
I
just
really.
Thank you. I just came up with that.
You should definitely write down, you know, uh, some great ideas or some awesome sayings. Yeah.
Well, because I do say all the time, like music and art is not a mathematical equation. Like there's no, again, building bridges are mathematical equations. You have to do certain things for physics to work, but for music you don't.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's like, well, then why would you want to play music with anybody if you can pick? You have now the option to make a painting or do a song with other people that you enjoy being around. I think that's the best option, and
Hmm.
so that's why I would say that. But let's you and I work on this, off stream further. We can talk about it and figure out, uh, about making an art show, or at least also about getting some of your art available for people to get, and stuff like that. I think that's a good place to start, and what else is there? I think we should probably wrap the stream up soon, but is there anything else that you want to talk about before we go,
Mm,
in general?
I I was actually curious about, your, I don't know, your tour, your music tour with 96 Bitter Beings, and maybe, I don't know, about the teaching process. I've seen that you were looking for some students, yeah, for the guitar classes, bass, yeah, bass, and stuff like this.